Before the traffic, before the skyscrapers, before the chaos you know today, there was only water. Dark, still lagoons stretching into the horizon, canoes slicing quietly through the surface, the sound of paddles, voices, and fire crackling in the distance. No bridges, no roads, no Lagos. What you are looking at is the beginning of Lagos, over 700 years ago, and almost everything about it will surprise you. Long before it became a megacity, this place had a different name, Eko, but even that name came later. The earliest known settlers here were the Awori, a Yoruba subgroup who migrated southward, likely between the 13th and 15th centuries, though exact dates remain uncertain. They didn't come looking for a city. They came looking for survival. Moving along the Ogun River, they settled first at Isheri, then gradually pushed toward the lagoon, Ebutemeta, Ido, and finally the islands. What they found wasn't land in the way we think of it today. It was water, broken by patches of earth, mangroves, swamps, narrow strips of land surrounded by lagoons. To most people, this would be a terrible place to build a life, but for the Awori, it was perfect. Life in early Eko didn't revolve around roads, it revolved around water. Canoes were everything. They were your transport, your livelihood, your connection to other communities. What is today a busy highway was once a canoe route. What is now Victoria Island was once a quiet stretch of sand and vegetation. The lagoon wasn't an obstacle, it was the system that made life possible. This was not a city, not yet. It was a collection of small, tightly connected communities. Families lived in compounds, simple structures made from mud, wood, and palm materials. Roofs were thatched, walls were hand-built. There were no streets, only paths created by movement. Daily life was predictable, but not easy. Fishing dominated everything. Men would leave early in the morning, paddling into the lagoon with nets and traps. By midday, the catch would be brought back: fish, crabs, shellfish. Women played a central role in processing and trade. Fish were smoked over open fires to preserve them, then traded inland. Because even at this early stage, Eko was not isolated. It was already part of a network. Small canoes moved goods between inland Yoruba communities and coastal settlements. Fish went inland, farm produce came back, palm oil, pepper, tools. Trade wasn't large-scale yet, but it was constant. And this is what made Eko valuable. Not power, not wealth, position. Geography. Eko sat between inland resources and the Atlantic Ocean. And eventually, someone powerful noticed. By the late 1500s, a major force entered the story: the Kingdom of Benin. At this time, Benin was one of the most powerful states in West Africa, organized, centralized, and deeply interested in controlling trade routes. What exactly happened in Eko is still debated. Some oral traditions describe a military conquest, others suggest negotiation and alliance. What historians generally agree on is this: by around 1600, Eko came under Benin influence, and with that, everything changed. A man named Ashipa became the first Oba of Lagos, installed with recognition from Benin authority. This marked a major shift. Eko was no longer just a fishing settlement, it became a political center. The name Eko itself is believed to come from an Edo term, often interpreted as war camp or military encampment, though its exact meaning is still debated. Leadership became structured, power became centralized. The Oba ruled, but local Yoruba chiefs known as the Idejo still controlled land and communities. This was not total domination, it was layered authority. Now Eko had something it didn't have before: strategic importance. Control of Eko meant control of access to the coast, movement of goods, and contact with foreign traders. And soon, those foreign traders arrived. In 1492, Portuguese explorers reached this coastline. They didn't build Lagos, they named it, from Lago de Curamo, meaning lake. Over time, that name evolved to Lagos. But the real transformation didn't happen immediately. For a while, trade focused on goods, pepper, ivory, textiles. Then something darker took over. By the 1700s, Lagos had become deeply involved in the Atlantic slave trade. This wasn't just a local system, it was global. Captured people were moved through complex inland networks, brought to Lagos and shipped across the Atlantic. Brazil, Cuba, the Americas. The economy changed, the scale changed, the city changed. Wealth increased, but so did instability. Power struggles intensified, and by the early 1800s, Lagos was no longer just growing, it was becoming volatile. Now look at Lagos today. Bridges stretch across the same waters where canoes once moved silently. Millions of people live where small fishing compounds once stood. What was once a quiet lagoon settlement is now one of the largest urban areas in Africa. But look closely, and you'll still see the past. In the waterways, in the island structure, in the continued importance of trade, even in the title of the Oba of Lagos still existing today. Lagos didn't begin as a city. It didn't begin as power. It didn't begin as wealth. It began as a decision. A group of people choosing to settle in a difficult place and making it work. Over time, that place attracted trade, then power, then empire, then the world. And today, it is still growing, still changing, still becoming something new. This is Lagos, not just a city, but a story that never stopped moving.